Allow me to introduce myself. Who knows what dastardly crime he might perpetrate next?
He's a very clever arch criminal who must be put away. Another innocent victim of this homicidal maniac.
All right, real quick video today, but I'm just going to be talking about this whole thing about Sony and cross-generational gaming. Look, I want to preface this video by saying that I am not at all up in arms about cross-generational gaming, whether it be from Microsoft or Sony. The extent to which I care is that I personally want games to move forward. I'd like to see bigger in scope games, better game design, world design, or what have you, things that can't be done on last-generational hardware. I'm all about that. However, not up in arms about this stuff. Corporations are going to corporate. They're going to do this. They're going to do this sort of stuff to make money. I get it. There's 100+ million people still on the PS4 that are willing to buy these games. I get that. But my problem is how Sony lied to its customers, lied to its fan base. And many people out there are defending this. And I don't understand why anybody would defend any corporation, because the bottom line is this. They did dupe many gamers out there. I see them in my threads on Twitter. They're upset by this because they really felt that with the new console, they would get new experiences not had on last generation hardware. That's why they upgraded. So a lot of these people are upset, and I get it. But let's go ahead and take a look for all of you Defense Force out there on this lie anyway. Let's go ahead and take a look at just what he said about this last year. One way to keep the PS4 users engaged would be to make the upcoming PS5 games playable on the older machine, just like Microsoft is proposing to do with the Xbox Series X games being playable on the Xbox One. Yet Ryan says that's not something PlayStation is interested in doing. We have always said that we believe in generations. We believe that when you go to all the trouble creating a next-gen console, that it should include features and benefits that previous generations do not include. And that, in our view, people should make games that can make the most of those features. We do believe in generations, and whether it's the DualSense controller, whether it's the 3D audio, whether it's the multiple ways that the SSD can be used, we are thinking that it is time to give the PlayStation community something new, something different that can really only be enjoyed on the PlayStation 5. Now, one can deduce by reading this quote that he is implying that they are only going to put PlayStation 5 games on PlayStation 5 to utilize all those feature sets, right? I mean, surely that's what one would think, right? I mean, I would by reading that, but it isn't the case. They've done a 180 on what he said. The latest narrative from these defenders I've seen they're running around with is, these corporations change their minds sometimes. They've got to make money, and, since there's a lack of parts for these consoles, they're not making enough, so they're not going to sell enough, so they need to put it on last-gen hardware. This is not how it works. These developers need to know what hardware they're going to be putting their games on, what they're building around before they ever get started building. This isn't a last-minute decision to port a game back to last gen. If you really think that these games being built from the ground up on next-generation hardware can suddenly simply be put back on last-gen hardware, especially if they had bigger scope in mind, you're kidding yourselves. Something like that is pre-planned. They knew this was happening. That is the huge part here. And they duped a lot of people. That is the bottom line. I don't want to hear the Defense Force on this. Look, I'm not out here on a witch hunt against Sony. Never have been. I love their games. However, I am going to talk about a corporation that does some slimy stuff sometimes. This is slimy. What Microsoft tried to do a few months back with the Xbox games with gold, doubling in price. I talked about that too. Xbox is free to play paywall. I've been hitting them up for years on Twitter. That is slimy. I will hit up these corporations no matter what if they're doing wrong. I tried it with the $70 games. Many others out there were content with it. So I kind of got silenced on that. I still speak up on it, but people don't want to hear it. They don't need that extra $10. They just want that extra $10. And many of you were fine with giving them that. I'm not. Point is, when these companies try to get one over on us, I am very vocal about it, and I will continue to be vocal about it. That's just the way I am. So, if you don't like today's video about this, sorry. Sony lied. You saw what Jim Ryan said, and you've seen what he's done. Very deceitful. Nobody can change my mind on that. This doesn't mean that the game's going to come out and be horrible. Look at Horizon Forbidden West. Most of these games are scalable. They're just not going to be pushing the boundaries of what these consoles could possibly give us. And at the end of the day, guys, my overall message is, if these corporations do anything wrong or you feel they're doing wrong, be vocal about it. Talk about it. Put it out there on Twitter. Put it out there on social media, because they need to hear from us. Because collectively, we can make a difference. We did it with the Xbox Live Gold price hike. We did it with the free-to-play paywall. We've done it with other things, people. And this one goes out to all you plastic warriors out there. Stop defending when these corporations do something wrong. They're not your best friends. They're not looking out for you. They only have their best interests in mind. That's all. Until next time, try to be the best possible you. Be kind to one another. And of course, as always, my friends, game on.